This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Tonight from PNC Park in Pittsburgh, game number 2 of the 3-game weekend series. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jim Hayes is here. That's Jim Edmonds, the Cardinals Hall of Famer. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball. The Cardinals have Jack Flaherty on the mound tonight. He has made one start in the big leagues this year. That was against Milwaukee. He struck out 9 in that game, and Jimmy, his slider was just tremendous that night.
Yeah, he pitched really well that night, and look for him tonight to bring some energy to this staff. And just watch here, the slider you talked about was devastating against Milwaukee. Good fastball too. You see the percentages. Looking for a little bit of a bounce back game for the Cardinals tonight.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal, a wipeout slider stands out for Jack Flaherty. Combined stats so far this year: 1 start in the big leagues. He's had 3 in the minor leagues. It adds up to a 2.16 ERA. Jack Flaherty goes tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals. Trevor Williams for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cards, the Pirates. Game 2, and it comes your way next. Here in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, it's game number 2. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cardinals with a record of 15-9 coming into play tonight. Mike Matheny's club with 15 wins already in the month of April as the Pirates take to the field. It's cold, and the players should be used to it by now. I'm not sure we are.
It's all what you make it, but I'm with you on the cold.
The Cardinals lineup: Tommy Pham, followed by Matt Carpenter and Jose Martinez. Then Marcell Ozuna, Yadier Molina, Dexter Fowler, Paul DeJong, Colton Wong, and the pitcher batting ninth, that's Jack Flaherty. On the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates, it will be Trevor Williams. And Williams is a 26-year-old making his 6th start of the year. He last pitched on Sunday, took a no decision in the Pirates' 3-2 loss against the Phillies in 11 innings. The Hyundai pitch arsenal for the right-hander: a lot of fastballs. He'll mix in a changeup, slider, and the curve.
I don't think you see that big of a discrepancy in fastball, slider, curveball in the league. I mean, you're going to get a lot of fastballs if you're hitting tonight.
The Pirates defensively tonight. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Corey Dickerson, Starling Marte, and Gregory Polanco in the outfield. On the infield, Colin Moran, Jordy Mercer, Adam Frazier, and Josh Bell. And Francisco Cervelli is behind the plate. Trevor Williams last year went 7-9 with a 4.07 ERA. Made 25 starts. He appeared in 31 games. That ERA, the best among rookies in the National League a season ago. Center fielder Tommy Pham leads it off for St. Louis. And he leads the National League in hitting. He's batting .358. And he is red hot. 20 for his last 42. Clint Hurdle closing in on a milestone. He's the manager of the Pirates in his 8th season and one away from 600 wins as the Pirates manager. Only 5 managers in Pittsburgh history have done that. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Pham, and a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tommy also leads the club in runs scored with 22, 3rd best in the National League. And he's 2nd in on-base percentage. Rhys Hoskins just a shade better than Tommy Pham in on-base percentage. 42 degrees, a cold night here in Pittsburgh. The 2-1 is tap foul. Around Major League Baseball, the month of April in the Midwest, up east, it has been cold. But when you've got nachos and hot chocolate, your Cardinal gear on, you're feeling pretty good. With young Pham taking in the game tonight. A full count on Tommy Pham. And Pham lifts a fly ball into left, and that'll be caught by Corey Dickerson. The Kubota Power Stats, Matt Carpenter. Pretty good numbers here against this right-hander. 3 for 6, a home run and a double. Not a lot of extended numbers against the righty. He's just really starting out his major league career, but pretty good numbers there for Carpenter.
We saw the pitch arsenal by the pitcher. One thing I wanted to say was, probably as a hitter, you better be ready to hit the ball in the inner half of the plate today, because if you're going to throw that many fastballs and you're throwing anywhere between 89 to 92, you have to bet that he can pitch in, not just throw the ball in there, but he can pitch successfully inside, or there's no way he would be at this level.
Matt Carpenter is 1 home run shy of 100. Leads the club in walks with 18 this year. And he entered last night's game as a pinch hitter and fly to center. So Carpenter, he's in the top 5 in walks with 18. Bryce Harper already with 34. As many teams are staying away from Mr. Harper, and I don't blame him. Ironically enough, he made his major league debut this date in baseball history. And where will the numbers be and the checks coming next year for Bryce Harper? Might be the first $400 million contract in professional baseball. Heck of a talent. Two balls and one strike on Carpenter. The shift on the right side of the infield. And he looks at a strike. Evens it up at 2-2. The 2-2. Lifted in the air down the left field line and slicing foul and out of play. Wide open on the left side of the infield for Carpenter. Just got a piece. Tail end of your career, Jimmy, you started to see the shift become more in play, more in vogue in the game of baseball. And here with two strikes, he's not going to drop down a bunt. But it's something that if you're a hitter like Carpenter or those that always see the shift, you got to think about doing it.
You definitely, the drop down the bunt is what you're talking about. And definitely, I would think that given the pitcher and given how you feel that day, it definitely could be a weapon.
Did not go. The home plate umpire is Gabe Morales, and Hickok's at first base. John Tumpain at second, and Jerry Meals, the crew chief, is down at third. A full count, the second full count already here in the first inning. A big gap in right center field. And the 3-2 pitch to Matt Carpenter. Lifts a high fly ball into center field. Starling Marte, last night's hero, with the walk-off base hit, makes the catch, and there's two outs. The BJC Healthcare difference maker, Jose Martinez. He's hitting above 300. He's at 309. And against the Pirates, 19 games in his career. 318 the average, couple of home runs. Two outs and nobody on. Outfield is deep. Shade him a bit the opposite way, and he looks at a strike. Cardinals had another home run hit last night off the bat of Jed Jerko, his second of the year. And St. Louis now tied with Colorado atop the National League with 33 long balls. The Yankees lead all of baseball with 40. These two know each other fairly well. Jose Martinez and Francisco Cervelli both are from Venezuela. And they both have talked about when they send items, care packages, even trying to get money to their families, it's a challenge. It's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. It's hard enough to play this game as it is, let alone having to worry about those little things off the field. Makes it. This is something that when you're playing the game like this, if your mind can be elsewhere, it takes just a little bit of the edge away. And that definitely is something that doesn't go away on your mind during the course of the day. Like you said, it's tough enough to play. It's a shame that they have to go through that.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
The umpire looking at the conversation, probably wondering what they're talking about in Spanish.
Outside, full count again, so he's gone to a full count. The first 3 hitters of the game, he's already up to 19 pitches here in the first inning. And the 3-2. Martinez pops it foul and out of play. Trevor Williams has had his issues with the Cardinals. 1-2 ERA that's above 8. He's worked out of the bullpen against St. Louis and now in the rotation for the Pirates. The 3-2 again. Soft liner caught by Bell. The Cardinals go 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. It'll be Frazier, Polanco, and Marte when we come back to Pittsburgh. Year for the Cardinals in his debut. Struck out 9 Brewers. He was in line for the victory, you may remember, until back-to-back homers in the 9th ended that game. Took a no decision that night in 5 innings. The lineup that he'll face is Adam Frazier at the top, then Gregory Polanco and Starling Marte. Josh Bell, the switch-hitting slugger. Corey Dickerson, Francisco Cervelli, Colin Moran, Jordy Mercer, and Trevor Williams. The Pirates have won 3 straight after dropping 5 in a row. And the last 2 wins have come with walk-offs. First pitch under the glove of Martinez and into right field. Where the ball is finding Jose Martinez in this series.
Yeah, another ball hit hard. Look at it right here. It just jumped underneath his glove, probably off that wet grass, but it's tough on him, you know, getting down that quick. It's an art. It's an art to play the corners. You got to be quick and you got to be ready every play. And sometimes the ball just gets hit so hard it's just by you. Reaction time can only be so quick.
I asked Mike Matheny about that today, and he said, look, it's a work in progress, but we've got to keep his bat in the lineup. Here's Gregory Polanco, and he looks at a strike. I haven't brought up the idea of maybe switching out Martinez late in games, moving him to the outfield or getting him to a more comfortable defensive position, and he didn't buy it. You know, he was more about, hey, we're going to stick with Martinez and we feel he's going to get better defensively, but we can't lose his bat in the lineup. Here's the 0-1 instead of check on the runner at first base. Polanco, slow start, batting .213. The Pirates have been swinging the bat well here the last 3 games. 32 hits, a .291 average. The 0-1 pitch. According to MLB.com, Flaherty, the number 36 prospect in baseball, number 2 pitching prospect in the Cardinals organization behind Alex Reyes. Heard an awful lot about this young man. One ball and one strike. Way outside.
Get a good look right there at that first changeup of the game. It's usually that field pitch, being in the cold, and sometimes the first one is a little tough to throw.
The 2-1, a good pitch, 2-2. It's not just a good slider, it can be great. Cardinals talk about it being a wipeout type pitch.
It's a great call right there by Yachty, getting behind in the count, knowing that he can throw that slider for a strike. The confidence, and then throwing a good one on top of it.
The 2-2 pitch, Flaherty to Polanco. Struck him out. Cardinals defensively tonight. Ozuna, Pham, and Fowler in the outfield. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Carpenter, DeYoung, Wong, and Martinez on the infield. Yadier Molina is behind the plate. It brings in Starling Marte. My partner called it last night. He said Yachty probably will go with something soft and away to Starling Marte. He went that direction. Marte was ready for it, and a base in its center to win the game. Here it is last night. And Marte had his 7th walk-off hit of his career, driving in David Freese.
Give a lot of credit to Marte. That's a good piece of hitting with the guy throwing 100 miles an hour.
We saw him hit 102 on the gun last night. Jordan Hicks. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Marte. Marte now the everyday center fielder with Andrew McCutchen in San Francisco. That was a big trade, and so was Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole went to Houston. And the 1-1 pitch to Marte. Could be 2. Out at second. The turn. It's a double play, and a hard hit ball off the bat of Marte into the glove of Carpenter. The turn by Wong to Martinez. Marcell Ozuna, no score, top of the second. He will lead it off. followed by Yadier Molina and Dexter Fowler. Ozuna on the year now batting .257. Couple of home runs, and he has driven in 16. Trevor Williams, you may recall, used to wear number 57. It's now shifted to wearing number 34, and that's by design. Switched numbers to honor his former Arizona State teammate and roommate Corey Hahn, who was paralyzed while playing a game. And they have created the Project 34 team. Charitable Foundation provides wheelchair, physical therapy, ramps for those who suffer spinal cord injuries and can't afford those needs. Good stuff. We just don't hear enough about the good things players do. And that's ripped foul. You always hear about the negative. It's always brought out. You played pro ball for well over 2 decades, minor leagues, major leagues, and we see it every day. There's always good things being done by these players.
Yeah, these guys do the best they can with the little amount of time that they have to try to do things like that.
And that's lined into the glove of Frazier.
Cannot be easy to give time when you're traveling and you're trying to get your game together, and these guys get to the park at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for a 7 o'clock game. It's just, somebody steps up like that, it's a big deal.
And here's Yadier Molina. It makes me think about Molina, who made 3 goodwill trips to Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria. It ripped through the country, and he actually went to the less populated areas, what he thought were the poorer areas of the country. And he saved a man's life. I talked to Yadi about that when Maria was going to hit and his family was taken care of, and then read a follow-up story done by Stan McNeil in the Cardinals magazine. Really well done by Stan. But he saved a man who was diabetic and had just had his leg amputated, and they were going through the neighborhoods, and the man's wife was calling out for help, and they were able to get transportation quickly enough to him to get him to a hospital. If not, he would have passed away. So if Molina wasn't there, that would not have happened. Also has a fundraiser coming up later this summer. He's donated a lot of time and money to the effort to help rebuild Puerto Rico. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Molina. Puts it in play. Jordy Mercer, out number 2. And with 2 outs, the batter will be Dexter Fowler. It's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers a all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone. Fowler, the switch hitter, has been much better from this side of the plate. Right side of the plate, he started out 1 for 22. 221 from this side of the plate. All 3 home runs hit from the left side.
Trevor Williams just keeps pumping fastballs. I mean, in, out, get a count where you think you're going to get a slider, and he comes with another fastball. He said you got to be ready to hit, but these guys that throw like this can really pinpoint the control. It makes it tough, because not only do you wonder when the slider's coming, but he can hit his spots. They're called spots for a reason. You can throw the ball where you want to. It makes it really hard to get any kind of momentum with your swing, any kind of idea what's going on. Get your hands out. Really attacking the plate.
And Fowler taps it back to Trevor Williams. That's 6 up, 6 down. Coming up, it'll be Bell, Dickerson, and Cervelli. And with more on the Cardinals slugger, we check in with Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Dan, Ozuna had been in a bit of a slump, but he seems to be coming out of it. Ozuna had 3 hits last night and is carrying a modest 3-game hitting streak. Ozuna told me he feels like his timing is coming around. He told me, I'm not looking at video. I just feel like I'm seeing the ball better. Mike Matheny told me it takes a while for him to watch a guy to see what's wrong. Matheny said he could be a guy like Paul DeJong who doesn't look right, then hits a homer that gets him right back on track. Mike also said Ozuna is looking more confident in the batter's box. Dan, he said that's a good sign.
That's good stuff, Jimmy. And I'll go to my partner tonight, Jim Edmonds. 1 ball, 1 strike on Josh Bell. When you're not going right, in this day and age, there's so much available to take in. The opposition video, statistics, what a pitcher throws, which we talked about with Trevor Williams, or going back and looking at video of yourself. And Ozuna saying that he's not doing that. I just find that curious, because a lot of guys say, especially if they just make 1 out, they're going back to look at the video.
Well, a lot of guys go back and look at video during the game, want to see where the pitch was that they hit or missed, or what they were trying to do. Sometimes the pitch ends up in a different spot than where the catcher wants it. Other times you go back, and I think the very basics of video when you're struggling is just go back and look at your stance and see if you're going at the ball the right way. Sometimes you don't want to look at video when you're struggling because it just isn't good. A lot of guys will go look at videos from the past and look at when they were going good and just get some positive vibes going.
This is from yesterday, and he scorched a ball already tonight. You talked about it, where the game on Thursday, you thought he started to shorten up just a bit, and we're starting to see that from Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah, I think his shoulders are staying a little bit more still, and he was really kind of opening up. Looked like he was almost cheating for the inner half, and I think he's done a really good job of squaring up a little bit and just kind of not trying to do too much.
So leadoff walk, both innings. A leadoff man has been aboard. And here's Corey Dickerson, the former All-Star with Tampa Bay. He hit 27 home runs last year, and the 3rd time that he had hit 24 or more home runs in a season. Rays were shedding payroll. They designated him for assignment. And so when you do that, you know a trade is coming. How about a double play ball again? Nice shuffle pass there by Wong, and the stretch by Martinez. 4-6-3 on the double play.
You're right, Danny. That was a nice shovel pass. Just got it over there to the bag, and it's almost like every time the ball's hit on the ground, they better turn too. I mean, there's no one sliding in to break it up.
You don't have to worry about it anymore.
It's a totally different game now.
Here's Francisco Cervelli with 2 outs and nobody on. And the first pitch to the Pirates catcher is a strike. Already with a team leading 18 driven in. His career high 43. Went 3 for 4 last night. He's batting well above 400 in his last 13 games. Elias Diaz is the backup catcher here with Pittsburgh, and those two combined have put up big numbers from this spot. The key with Cervelli is keeping him healthy. The 0-2. Just not been able to stay healthy. There he is, shaking his hand a little bit. He's had all kinds of injuries with his hands. Twice he has had a broken hand, the hamate bone. He's had wrist injuries. Very tough to stay on the field.
It's a tough position to be injury free in too. You got everything that's going on behind the plate also, and most of those catchers are pretty gritty, dude. They're going to dive in their nose first at the plate.
Cervelli with a drive out to deep left field, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh.
Missouri Lottery Fox tracks. Cervelli with his 4th home run. He's driven in 19 now.
Well, you see where Yachty wanted it and where he got it. Ball just stayed up for him. And good big league hitter. He hits the ball where he's supposed to.
Here's Colin Moran with 2 outs. That's the thing about a slider. Sometimes it's those cement mixers. If you get underneath one, and it's one way to describe a ball that just spins and really doesn't move. And major league hitters, if it's on a tee, they're not going to miss it. Home run measured at 373 feet. That's what we're talking about.
Tried to get that ball down, and you could see it just kind of spun up there. It got underneath it a little bit. That kind of means you just don't really finish off the pitch, and so it kind of just sits up in the zone. That's just when you throw it as a pitcher. I'm sure it's just like, uh-oh, hope that gets out, gets down, gets away, does something.
Moran was 0 for 3 last night, hitting over 400 here at home, and hits that off the end of the bat to even it up at 2-2.
Jack's done a good job. A couple times he's had a chance and was behind in the count. He's thrown a good slider. That was a good changeup. Not afraid to throw the ball, make pitches with different pitches during the course of the at bat.
And a ground ball that's hit to third, taken by Carpenter. The home run by Francisco Cervelli, his 4th of the year. We play 2. 1-0 Pittsburgh.
Well, obviously it's a chance for a bounce back game from last night. Kind of gave one away and going to try and start over and get one back. And then Jack Flaherty keeping the slider going, keeping that ball down in the zone. We saw the one mistake, but keep that slider down, using the one that the good slider that he has to keep these hitters off balance.
Paul DeJong is 2 for 5 against this right-hander with a double and a home run. And he rips it out to left for a base hit, the first Cardinal hit of the night. We mentioned that Trevor Williams struggled against St. Louis, 1-2 ERA over 8. However, he did pick up a win, first major league win in August of 2016, and that was against the Cardinals in relief. A night he'll never forget, as his dad Richard was in the stands, and watch this reaction. There's a lot of meaning behind it, as his dad was not supposed to be here. He was given 60 days to live. His dad, Richard, as he had stage 4 B-cell lymphoma, 60 days to live. He beat it and saw his son pick up his first major league win. Great, great moment. Wong drops down a bunt. Williams to first. Bell there in the out with the stretch. He's bunting for a base hit with the pitcher on deck. A little bit further up the third base line, he'd be there.
Gets that ball another 2 feet to the left. That's an easy base hit for him.
And now you have Jack Flaherty with 1 out and a runner at second base. Boy, it's hard to see that video and not get chills with Trevor Williams hugging his father. His dad served in Vietnam, was a huge Cubs fan growing up, and just in general a big time baseball fan. Helped teach his son about the game, and saw him pick up that first big league victory. Here's the 0-1. Flaherty is 0 for 8 in his career. Nothing in 2 the count. The tying run at second base in Paul DeYoung. And he tied him up. First strikeout of the night. A reminder that Monday, May 7th, the Cardinals celebrate Super Bowl champ, recent Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee Kurt Warner. Fans who purchase a special Kurt Warner themed ticket receive a one-of-a-kind Warner Hall of Fame bobblehead. And you can get your tickets at cardinals.com/theme. There's Tommy Pham. You got the pine tar probably mixed in with a little dirt, and it's found its way to the top of Tommy Pham's helmet. Hitting .500 with runners in scoring position. Pham rips it out to right field. Going back, Polanco. It's off the wall. This game is tied. Pham racing into second base, and it's 1-1. He just keeps on hitting. A 2-out RBI double for Tommy Pham.
Tommy Pham keeps hitting because he's staying back and he's letting the ball travel. Pulls the ball if he needs to. Look at this right here. He's behind the ball and inside out. It's just a really good swing right there. If he continues with that, he's going to stay hot.
Changes spots with DeYoung. Extends the inning to Carpenter, who flied to center first time up. We'll see what the Cardinals do second time through the lineup and the adjustments in the game from the pitcher's perspective and also the lineup.
I guess sometimes you go up there the first time and you see the velocity at 90 to 93 and think you got it all figured out. Gets up there, you get up there and he's a little sneaky, and then you got a little bit more break to the slider. And go back, start over again for your second at bat, and try to use that knowledge to get something going for you. Carp's been swinging the bat good, and he has really got nothing to show for it as of late.
Average came in at 169. So a tough first month thus far for Carpenter. Runner at second. That's Tommy Pham, so not the exaggerated shift that we see normally against Matt. Big gap in right center, and the 1-1. So what do you see there when you talk about Carpenter swinging the bat a little bit better. What do you pick up?
Well, he's been hitting the ball on the nose. It just hasn't been going anywhere. A couple balls, if I can remember, he's hit 3 or 4 all the way to the deepest part of the ballpark here tonight at Busch Stadium the other day, and I think even last night. No, he didn't hit last night.
Pinch hit.
Pinch hit, yeah. They've been last night, but I thought Mike even said that he wanted to give him a day off, but he's frustrated. But you don't see Matt Carpenter get frustrated very often, so he's just quietly trying to go by his business. And it's hard as a hitter when you're not doing anything wrong and you're not getting hits. And when you hit the ball in the nose, you're just missing a couple pitches here and there. You want to change something, but you're also hitting the ball in the barrel, so sometimes you just need a little luck.
Should get a pitch to hit here.
Good pitch, change up.
3-2. It's kind of like the Votto aspect of things. When you get to 3-1 and Carpenter has such a great eye, you know, do you want him to expand the zone to try to do a little damage, especially with a runner in scoring position? The 3-2 pitch, and he walked him. The 19th walk for Carpenter to lead the club. Brings in Jose Martinez, hit a soft liner to first. He's 0 for 1. Out to visit Francisco Cervelli. The mound visits really haven't been that big of a deal in baseball. You get 6 and 9 innings. No team has gone above 6. You might see 4.
I was thinking that last night, actually. We haven't even gotten close. But you know what? It's still early. And it's beginning of the year. Games will get more important, so to speak, as the season rolls on. Guys will sometimes get tired. Sometimes you have to go out there and give them a breather. You never know. The roster spots might change a little bit more, so you get younger players up.
Martinez lifts a fly ball to right. Catch made by Polanco. The 2-out double off the wall by Tommy Pham to drive into Young. And it's 1-1. $3. Better burgers, better prices, Steak and Shake. And by Toyota. Let's go places. It's a tight NL Central with the Cubs, Milwaukee, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh. Here early on, Chicago defeated Milwaukee by the final of 3-0. Quintana 7 innings, only a couple of hits allowed. Minnesota, they beat Cincinnati 3-1. There's Jordy Mercer. He's hit safely in each of his first 11 games this year at home. Batting .381, 6 doubles, 3 driven in here at PNC Park. He chops it foul. Jack Flaherty made the one start against the Brewers, struck out 9 in 5 innings, then went down to the minor leagues at 20 innings, gave up just 5 earned, was 3-0 with a 2.25. Get to a point, you wonder what else is there to prove in the minor leagues, but yet you have the numbers game. Very qualified starters already here, and Flaherty provides some depth at this point in his career. And the 1-2 pitch. Fly ball out to left. Coming in, Ozuna with the catch. Youth is served here with Jordan Hicks, the 21-year-old. Flaherty is 22. And Luke Weaver, who goes tomorrow, is 24. Don't forget about Alex Reyes. He's only 23. Here's Trevor Williams. I asked Mike Matheny about trying to catch Jordan Hicks last night. He was throwing so hard and had such good movement for the most part with his slider. He's got that downward action on the fastball, and he said there's no doubt he's probably the toughest to catch. Yachty will actually go through a couple of different gloves throughout the regular season. Jeff Murphy was a longtime bullpen catcher. Mike Matheny would have him break in his gloves and then use probably 2. He said sometimes 3. I said, when you get guys like that throwing that hard, and let's face it, catchers, they know how to catch the ball to where it doesn't jam their thumb or hurt a pinky for the most part. But if you get guys with movement, very tough to catch. And Mike was telling us that he still has numbness and cold with his index finger and his middle finger of his left hand still. There's the strikeout number 2, Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
Little slider right there. You've seen tonight, they've had some big ones. A little bit smaller break on the slider. Just be able to throw each hitter has a different type of slider that they can handle. Make your adjustments out there on the mound and go with what you got per each guy you're facing.
With 2 outs, top of the lineup, leadoff man Adam Frazier.
I like it too. Both of these guys about the same velocity with the fastball. Both pitch in, both move the ball around really well.
Up the middle and a base hit. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
This location a little bit down and away. And
third hit tonight for Pittsburgh, and Frazier 2 for 2.
Adam Frazier just took a nice easy swing right there and hit it right back up the box.
And the batter is Gregory Polanco. Made his debut June 10th of 2014. And we always talked about it, Jimmy, the outfield that the Pirates possessed with the great speed, athleticism, power. Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco. They could have played in, since his debut, in 585 potential games. They only played together 42% of the time. Injuries cost them.
Bad luck right there. 3 studs, young studs coming up together.
2015, the only time that they played at least 100 games together. Polanco crushes one out to deep right, hits it a mile high, but it stays in the park. Boy, he just missed that. as he slams his helmet down, and Fowler made the catch. We played 3, and it's 1-1. TV. You can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Cardinals wherever you go. It's presented by T-Mobile. It was the Honus Wagner statue just outside the ballpark. They've got Clemente, Willie Stargell, Bill Mazeroski. Great ballpark. A lot of history. First pitch to Ozuna is popped up. Bell over and out of play. We were talking about mound visits. We have not seen it yet, but if you go beyond the 6th, if you come out for the 7th, you lose track, which would be hard to do, but I've seen crazier things. The pitcher that's on the mound has to come out. His night is through, and you've got to go to your bullpen. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Albert Pujols 5 hits shy, by the way, of 3,000 as the Angels host the Yankees tonight. Tanaka going for the Bronx Bombers. And there was a fun story in today's Post-Dispatch written by Ben Fredrickson. And he chronicled what he thought were the best hits regular season for Albert Pujols. And he was 1 for 4 last night. Got me thinking about my personal favorites. 3 home run day in Chicago.
One of those was off a 101-mile-an-hour fastball.
There's Albert chasing history. 5 away from 3,000. That was number 1. Home run number 400 in Washington. And then against the Cubs, the place was packed at home. And that's out to center field. It's well hit, but stays in the ballpark on this cold night. And he wrapped a double into the corner against the Cubs for hit number 2,000. So Ben Fredrickson's premise of the piece was your favorite regular season hits. You'd have to think about postseason Brad Lidge.
I was going to say it wouldn't be too hard.
The 3 home run game in 2011 against the Rangers in the World Series. Do you have a personal favorite of watching him as a teammate, being up close, seeing that?
Probably the Lidge, I would say. He was so amazing, though. I got the chance. Well, I guess I got the privilege and probably the I don't even know what you would call it. The
Would you get hit?
The bad luck from hitting behind him? No, because every time I went to the plate,
he cleared
he
him.
would be on first base, and the catchers would be frustrated. A lot of good conversations there with the catchers, though. It was pretty funny.
Were they in amazement too?
Yeah, they were just like, geez, every time he goes, I mean, he gets a hit every time. It's like, I throw him a slider away, he hits it in right. We throw him a fastball in, he hits it in left. Throw him a changeup, and he hits a home run to center. I'm like, yeah, try being me. I'm standing on deck trying to duplicate every time he goes up there.
Did you talk a lot of hitting with Albert?
Oh, yeah, we spent a lot of time together with just in the cage and just talking about things. He was one of the very rare guys that I've ever seen be able to have a swing like a right-hander and have a swing like a left-hander. Swing down on the ball like right-handers do, where they really get extended. Think about Mark McGwire's swing. Gets the ball out over the plate. He really drives his hands down through the ball, gets that backspin. Then if you challenge him up or through something hanging, he could get underneath it with kind of an upswing and really get up through it. He could stay behind the ball and hit it out to right. And that's basically like the left-hander when you go the other way, and then stay on top of the ball and yank balls into the corner and home runs to left. I thought that was probably what makes him so special, and you don't see that very often.
Out to shallow right center off the bat of Fowler, and the catch made by Marte. Cardinals go in order. 1-1 our score. And now kind of a bench player for the Pirates, our buddy David Freese. With more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Dan, it's hard to believe, but our buddy David Freese turned 35 today. He told me his wife flew in about 15 of his friends from St. Louis for a surprise birthday brunch. At 35, Freese is the oldest player on the Pirates roster. He told me, I'm learning from the young guys, which is amazing. That shows how much the game has changed in terms of hitting. Freese told me the way guys are attacking the ball, you don't hear hard up the middle on the ground too much. That's what I've done all my life. The hits are in the air. I've probably put the ball on the ground more than anyone in the league. If you want to stay in the game, you better can some of that. Interesting stuff, Dan, from the birthday boy.
It really is, and it is hard to believe 35 years young for David Freese. There's a base hit for Marte. David spent parts of 5 seasons with the Cardinals, which began in 2009. And the postseason for David Freese of 2011, we will never forget it. Hit .397. And this the 5th of 5 home runs in that postseason. The Game 6 World Series. A triple to tie it. The home run to win it. 6 players have won both the NLCS and World Series MVP. David Freese the last to do it. The criteria, by the way, to be a Cardinals Hall of Famer: retired for 3 years and played at least 3 years for the Cardinals. And you would look at the regular season numbers, and he made 1 All-Star appearance. You say, okay, pretty good. But then you look at the postseason and the memories, you say, that'll never be duplicated again.
Nope, got hot at the right time. Had a storybook ending to a World Series.
Amazing.
Something you dream about since you're a little kid.
In his hometown of St. Louis. His wife in November gave birth to a healthy baby boy, Kai Patrick. And David in the final year of an $11 million deal. We didn't know it at the time, and he's been very open and honest about his struggles with the ups and downs of the game, both on and off the field. He talked about being scared to death after his playing career was done. He met his wife and things settled in. And the best thing probably that happened to him, Jimmy, was getting out of St. Louis, getting away from the adulation of being a hometown hero and always being on stage no matter what. He's one of my all-time favorite people, David Freese. It's fun to be around. Bell, the third double play, hit into by the Pirates. 4-6-3 again. They did it in the first, the second, and now here in inning number 4.
Take a look here, just soft ground ball to second.
It's a rocket.
A rocket to second. Great job by Colton. Stopping that without it taking him into right field, and toss over to short, over to first base. But those double plays can really help you out.
Fans may forget David Freese came to St. Louis for one Jim Edmonds. So you two obviously did not play together, but you know each other well. You're living full-time in St. Louis. David in town all the time.
David was kind enough to send my son Landon some wristbands because my son wears 23 because of David Freese.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Boy, it all comes full circle.
Crazy, huh? So my son gets to wear his own Nike 23 wristbands in the 12 and under league.
From David Freese.
From David Freese.
It's great. Here's a 1-1. High in the air. Right center. Backing up Pham. And he makes the catch. 3 double plays turned by the Cardinals in 4 innings. We're tied at 1. So Landon Edmonds wears the wristbands of David Freese. I hope he wears the number of number 15.
No, that's what I'm saying. He wears 23.
He wears 23 too.
So David sent him actual wristbands with a 23 on the wrist.
It's all 23.
Yes. He wears 15 in soccer. Which I think because he couldn't get 23. I think David hit those home runs right at the right time when my son's memory started to actually take a hold of his body. And I don't know why. That was his favorite player.
It is interesting. You go back as a fan, no matter how old you are, and you remember something that drew you to the game. For me, it was late 70s, early 80s, and watching Cardinals baseball, and the 1982 World Series, and Keith Hernandez and Ozzie Smith. And there's some fan out there that's a huge Paul DeYoung fan because he can drive the ball out of the ballpark. This will stay in the ballpark as the catch is made. And the batter will be Colton Wong. Narkia drive to success. Last 6 games for Colton Wong. He's 6 for 20. To me, though, it's his glove that has stood out.
Well, you know, right before that, he really wasn't playing. He was struggling a little bit. Played that one game, had a pretty good game, great defensive play, and next day they threw him back out there and he had a couple of hits. The next day they threw him out there, he had a couple of doubles. Been in the lineup ever since.
Cardinals single game record for turning double plays in 9 innings. They've done it with 5 in a game. They've done that several times. Last time it happened was in 2008 against Houston. They've got 3 turned tonight. It's like that first time you go to the ballpark, a major league stadium, and you walk through the concourse and then maybe a little hallway to get to your seat. The grass and the sunshine and the smell of the hot dogs. It's just a different experience coming to a major league game. There's something special about it. Nothing like it. And you never know, when you go to that game, you might get a Nurse's Night theme ticket and walk away with a scrub jacket. And if you have a ticket and you're sick of going to the game, well, just put it on StubHub. It's the perfect transition here, Jimmy. StubHub, you can grab your seats. It's MLB verified till the first pitch. The StubHub app, get it today. I don't hear anybody, though, that says, I'm sick of going to a game. They may say, I've got, you know, family duties. I can't make it. People love coming to the ballpark. And there's a strike on Flaherty, who thought he pulled it back, and the home plate umpire, Gabe Morales, is hearing it from the Cardinals dugout.
Wow. Don't overthink that. That's not even close to being good.
No. And the 0-1 pitch. Bunted foul, 0-2.
I don't really understand that. It's too bad you can't have a replay on something like that, because that's bad.
Cardinals have been playing very tight games with Pittsburgh once they turned the corner and got much better in 2012. Since that time, nearly half the games have been decided by 2 runs or less. We saw last night another extra inning game. As Flaherty gets the bunt down, Cervelli thought about going to second base.
Nice job, Jack Flaherty.
Last night was already the 5th extra inning game for the Cardinals. We're 25 games in. 5 have gone to extra innings. 7th most in franchise history through 25.
This year so far has been a weird year, hasn't it?
It has.
Weather, strikeouts, extra inning games. short road trips.
As a matter of fact, 3 of the last 4 games have gone to extra innings for the Cardinals. There's Tommy Pham, who's driven in the lone run tonight with a double into right. That brought in Paul DeYoung. Said by the end of the night, the wind chill will be in the 20s here in Pittsburgh. 2 balls and no strikes.
At least he's warm. What is that thing, a parrot? Call that, it's a bird. Maybe not a parrot. It's definitely not a pirate.
No, sir. But you might find one of those on a pirate ship, I've been told.
On a shoulder?
Yep. There you go. Pham is 6 for 12 this year with runners in scoring position. Turn them loose on 3-0. They do, and it's popped up to the right side. Bell over and out of play. I asked Tommy Pham earlier in spring training, I said, what can you do after a 2020 campaign? He said 30-30. And I might have been there if I didn't start last year in the minor leagues. He'd have been close. Pham hits a ground ball to third, gloved by Moran, stretched by Bell, and they get him. Cardinals strand their 3rd runner of the night. We're in Pittsburgh, and it's 1-1. A major league debut, Nick Kingham against the Cardinals' Luke Weaver tomorrow. We'll come your way with the pregame show at noon. Weaver back-to-back starts, Jimmy, and I know you've noticed it. You asked Mike Matheny a little bit about it, how he's kind of pushing the ball, not getting on top of it. We'll see if that changes tomorrow.
Mike also said that's one of his strengths sometimes, though, is he can kind of push the ball with that velocity up in the upper edges of the zone and can kind of sneak by some of the hitters. So we will see tomorrow what he's got for us.
Talked earlier about the injuries that Francisco Cervelli has sustained in his career. mainly with his hands and his wrist. And he has used a bat, Pro XR bat, which is developed out of St. Louis. And take a look at that handle. And the idea is to take away some of the pressure off those bones, help the hand, and basically the swing get through the zone. And again, that's Pro XR bat. And Grady Phelan is the creator of that bat in St. Louis. Now Cervelli has gone back to a conventional bat, which does not have that knob, but he told me that he thinks that saved his career. Hanley Ramirez is using that this season. It is major league approved, obviously. And they have found that the exit velocity with those bats, which does help them get through just a little bit, is 3 to 5 miles per hour on average better. If you want to see those bats, it's interesting to go to their website, proxr.com. But I thought you had used one maybe in a fantasy camp?
Yes, I used it in fantasy camp, and they had plenty down there. I like it. I like the idea. It's, you know, the hamate bone is one of those things that you don't really know about or hear about until someone breaks it, and then it sets you back a while. And I thought that idea was an amazing idea, and it's weird. It looks weird when you grab it, but it's so comfortable. And just the idea of that knob not running on, or rubbing on the bottom of your hand. Well, I used to have a humongous blister on my hand that took about a year to go away. I guess it wouldn't be a blister, it'd be a callus, but just from the knob rubbing, and it would be something that every year it would come back and blister up and bleed during spring training. When I used that, the bat didn't even rub in my hands at all. It was perfect. So I thought that the idea is a great idea.
Grady Phelan has been working hard to have major leaguers at least try it. Some did back home in St. Louis.
I got a base hit with it. My only fantasy league base hit.
A 3-2 pitch. But Cervelli said, pretty amazing. It saved his career, that bat. Safety and comfort with it.
Can you imagine having a broken bone in your hand and trying to be a major league player? I mean, you're right to try anything. And that bat came around right at the right time for him and gave him some more comfort, allowed him to heal up a little bit longer.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. Cervelli breaks his bat this time, and he needs to go back to the Pro XR bat.
Because they don't do that. They don't either.
And again, that's proxr.com, and take a look at it. Good little run in there on that pitch by Jack Flaherty. So Cervelli is 1 for 2 at the home run. It brings in Colin Moran and Jordy Mercer to follow. Moran picked up in the Garrett Cole deal. Houston already 7 games above the 500 mark.
Quietly.
Here's a 1-0. Well, Flaherty has had any issues in this game, they've been erased with double plays. If you just joined us, a double play turned back in the first, another one in the second, and the third in the fourth. The 2-0 pitch. Starters for the Cardinals, it's been a good run. Second in the National League in wins. They've got 12, one back of Arizona. And the starters ERA sits at 3.11, the best in the senior circuit. The 2-1 pitch. We saw it again last night with Miles Michaelis, who was terrific.
Down in the zone, moving the ball around. I think the more you pound the zone and able to go in and out You saw the good sinker last night, some run. Get ground balls and get the game moving and keep that pitch count down. Give yourself a chance to have the decision in your hands instead of turning it over to the bullpen. Thought he did an amazing job last night.
Three-two pitch. And he walked him. This week on Cardinals Insider, a closer look at the new outfield trio, plus a profile of the secret weapon, Jose Oquendo, all coming up tomorrow. It's Cardinals Insider with Ozzie Smith, the host on Fox Sports Midwest. So walk to Mercer, the second walk issued, or rather to Moran, and now Jordy Mercer, who flied out to left.
Can't you just feel that double play coming right here?
Absolutely. How about that slider blowing away, rolls over on a ground ball, and you get your double play. 3 have been already turned.
Maybe if we could get Jack to take just a little bit off his fastball, maybe like 85-mile-an-hour sinker like Brad Thompson used to throw. Maybe he'd deuce a double play ball.
85 might be
topping out right there.
It's thinking more about 75.
I think that's about like the home run that Skip Schumacher hit off him last year in the game we played in. It's still going.
The strike, and it's 1-2. Reaching for it, hits it down the right field line. Fowler over, and it's out of play. So in the Edmonds domicile, there are at least some old jerseys, gold gloves for Landon. I mean, do we have to go back and get some stuff for him?
He's going to have to earn his own.
I like it.
He's on his way.
One ball and 2 strikes. And the next by Flaherty.
Good pitch.
The 1-2 pitch again. Kept in front by Molina.
Good job by Yachty right there.
There's an art to doing this, not only to block it, but to keep it to where it doesn't shoot right or left.
Watch how square he stays. That ball's got some massive spin on it too, and it can really take off on you. And gotta just, if you notice when he gets down, he gets square, but his chest goes over and his head goes forward to literally make that ball almost bounce back down into the ground and not scoot out in front of him.
The fly ball lifted to left. Ozuna with the catch, and we have played 5 after the third out is made.
Too many double plays in your head, huh?
Jimmy, I was just moving along to Trevor Williams. I don't know where you're going with it.
I like it.
So 2 outs in the runner at first, and Williams the batter. He struck out back in the third. Missed with that pitch in. Flaherty is allowed just 4 hits, one of those a home run back in the second inning. Made it 1-0 in the second. Cardinals tied it up in the third. There's a strike, 1-1. And that's out of play.
How about Trevor Williams going up there with no batting gloves?
It's a brave soul on a cold night. 26th pitch of the inning is lifted into right center. And Pham with the catch. Pirates strand a runner. We have played 5 and it's 1-1. Reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the content descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. It's one of the great rivalries in all of baseball, the Cubs and Cardinals. That's May 4th, 5th, and 6th next homestand. Weekend matchup. And tickets are still available, nearly sold out on the Saturday. Very, very close to being sold out. Cardinals.com/promotions, and there's only one Cardinals baseball. Along with Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is here as well. Good ball game. We're tied up. It's 1-1. Carpenter has walked and flied to center. They're bundled up on a cold night here in Pittsburgh. Carpenter, Martinez, and Ozuna, 2, 3, and 4 for St. Louis. We're talking about Trevor Williams not wearing the batting gloves. That is always the case. Rain or shine, cold, hot for Matt Carpenter. No batting gloves.
Seems like it'd be a tough one tonight. The temperature dipping. Got about 36 degrees wind chill right now.
There's a 1-0. John Mabry, longtime hitting coach with the Cardinals, did not wear batting gloves. Hunter Pence of the Giants, another one that does not wear batting gloves. Just it's a preference thing, a feel thing for players. I would think, though, there have got to be times where you're almost forced into wearing batting gloves. You know, the recent road trip in Chicago, that was the coldest I can remember it being.
He didn't have any on, did he?
No. The wind chill was in the low 20s.
Well, you can combat it a little bit with the tape, and you see Matt Carpenter does have some tape on the bat, which I don't think he normally does.
Good call.
Nice pine tar. The hand's got to get sore, though. Guys used to tape their bats in the cold around, like, even just different types of tape. And we didn't have the stuff they have now with the grips and all that, but to give a little cushion because they were worried the bat was going to sting.
3-2 lifted in the air. The left field corner, Dickerson with the catch. First of 6 Academy Sports and Outdoor Autograph Nights is Friday, May 4th. One current player will sign autographs for fans 15 and under. Former Cardinals Tom Lawless, Kyle McClellan will sign for fans of all ages. That'll be in the Budweiser Terrace at Busch Stadium, Cardinals.com/promotions. Thought it was really good stuff. Jim Hayes with David Freese talking about David learning from the young players, in particular about how they're taught with launch angle, getting the ball in the air and don't hit the ball on the ground. And that's the way the game, to an extent, the major league level is played.
Yeah, that's a lot different than I was taught because the game is not that easy to dictate if you want to hit the ball in the air or on the ground. And I was kind of taught just to hit the ball. I mean, seriously.
Line it, hit it hard.
Hit it,
right?
I tell my son, hit it. Wherever you can hit it, just hit it. Hit it hard. I tell all the guys on his team, a lot of young, good athletes, the 12-year-old age, and just like, don't try to hit it to left, right, center, just try to hit the ball hard. As the old saying, round ball, round bat, you miss it by a couple of centimeters and it's either a pop-up or a ground ball. So do whatever you can to center it up and let your, take your chances.
Jim conducted that interview, I'd say 2 hours prior to the first pitch. And I said, well, what stood out about visiting with David Freese? And he said the fact that he's a veteran and saying, I'm all ears trying to learn from younger players. You don't hear that very often.
It's usually the other way around.
You bet. We were visiting with Mike Matheny for a good 15-20 minutes in his office today, and one of the subjects brought up was, what do you do at the back end of a game? And right now, both these managers are thinking where to get outs potentially in the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th. And he said in terms of Greg Holland, it's not back to the drawing board. He said there were a couple plays that could have been made behind him potentially, but maybe reorganize how we use him. As Martinez lines it fair inside the right field line. On his way to second, Polanco, good arm, but it's off the mark. And it's a 1-out double. Put it in play and good things can happen.
Another good piece of hitting. Watch this. This ball is down and away. And all he's trying to do is hit it. You can't place that ball. You just have to hit it. He does such a good job with those long arms.
Plate coverage, boy, I'll tell you what. That's as good as it gets.
You see him swing hard, but you rarely see him in a weird position when this bat is going through the zone. I noticed earlier today that he kind of takes a nice, easy approach and then tries to accelerate the bat through the zone. And that's why he stays back so well.
The batter will be Marcelo Ozuna. Ray Searage, longtime pitching coach, to visit with Trevor Williams. 1-1 our score.
Take a look at this swing one more time. Good balance. Thinks he's going to get a strike. Uh-oh. But look where his body still is. His body is still in a decent hitting position, so all you have to do is throw your hands at the ball. They tell you to keep your hands back. You also want to keep your weight back as long as you can, too.
Ozuna, the last 2 games, 5 for 11, 3 hits yesterday. He is lined out and flied out. I wonder if part of the conversation is to be real careful here with Ozuna. Maybe they're picking up what you're seeing too, that he's starting to get locked in, and maybe we deal with Molina, the potential of a double play. Could be. Ozuna, though, pops it up on the first pitch, went right after him. Cervelli over and into the camera well. His last 3 games with runners in scoring position, he's 4 for 6 and is driven in 5. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's what you call being tied up.
Two pitches on the inner, not even on the inner half, inside off the plate. Trying to maybe get him to chase that inside because that's how everyone's been pitching him, or trying to speed him up to get him out of way.
Something happening here with Jose Martinez. This happened in a previous at bat, you may recall, tonight, where he had to take his helmet off and his nose was running, it looked like, and he was squinting with his eyes. I don't know if he's just out of breath or what's going on here. Don't see that very often.
Breathing heavy.
Sure is. Nothing in 2 the count on Ozuna. Go ahead run in scoring position here in the 6th inning.
He's a trip, man, I'm telling you. Does he not have fun in this game? His eyes are always wide open. He's always smiling.
Hopping around. Dancing.
When Williams got away with one right there.
Sure did. Nothing in 2 the count. The next 2, Marcelo Ozuna. He's jumping around more than that guy does, and that's hard to do.
That slider again, I bet.
Fouled back. I think it also tells you by his reactions that he's seeing the ball well, and he's getting pitches to hit.
And he's trying to stay warm.
That could be it too. It has gotten cold here in Pittsburgh. One our score. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the slugger Ozuna. Watch yourself there, Jimmy.
I don't like that. It's hard to play this game for as long as I did. See balls start coming up by the face, especially when you know some of these hitters are looking inside and trying to do damage in there.
Ali Marmol trying to direct a little traffic there. Ozuna rips it foul. And a nice play made by the ball girl down the left field line. No big deal. One hop right into the glove.
See that ball's in off the plate. Still hopping around.
Two and two the count. Three and two. Sure, part of this conversation is, look, you've got first base open. We've thrown the kitchen sink at him. You know, if you walk him, it may not be the worst thing.
Well, he's also thrown, like you said, everything at him. And probably this conversation is, what do you want to throw here? What are you comfortable with?
Edgar Santana getting loose in the Pirates' pen. Pitch count up to 97. Ozuna out to left. That's a base hit. Martinez being waved in. He will score, and Marcell Ozuna has made it a 2-1 St. Louis lead. Great battle. He took the 2-2 pitch just on the outside corner, got a pitch to drive, and makes it a 2-1 St. Louis lead. This is our Nissan drive of the game.
Just didn't get it in there as much. A couple of those pitches he fouled off were in and up. That one was down and in. I think the left fielder does the Cardinals a favor by not throwing this ball to home.
109 off the bat. Right now the concern, I think, for the Cardinals is Jose Martinez, as he went right to the Cardinals medical team and looked like he was going down the tunnel to get checked on. So back-to-back hits, and the Cardinals now with a 2-1 lead. This will be the final inning of work for Trevor Williams. Made the last out in the 5th inning. Pitch count at 100.
See Yachty a little frustrated. He's missed a couple of pitches tonight and yesterday. What's so frustrating about this game is you do everything right, still not hit the ball.
And the 0-2. The strikeout of Molina. Second of the night. It wound up being a non-productive inning for the Cardinals in the first, but remember, all three of the first three batters went to a 3-2 count. He threw 21 pitches in that first inning. You make them work, and then you get to the bullpen of the Pirates. The pitch count adds up.
Could be a good thing for a team to make an effort to do that against certain guys. A lot of guys like to take a lot of pitches, but I think sometimes when you have a guy, or if you have an ace that throws a lot of pitches, sometimes the best way to go about it is to make him throw a lot of pitches and get him out of there.
As I talked about earlier, both teams have been playing extra inning games, using their bullpen a bunch. For instance, the Cardinals' last 4 games, the bullpen has thrown 19 innings. The 0-1. And it's 0-2. Bowman had 34 pitches thrown last night. But Smith is thrown in two, or Bud Norris is thrown in 2 straight. Caught both masks. Holland, a couple of straight games. I mean, you'd like to stay away from those guys. You don't like to go 3 in a row. Out of necessity, you may have to. Ozuna back in. The 0-2 pitch. Fought off. And a soft liner hit to short. And that was Moran, the third baseman, that put it away with the shift. Really good at bat by Marcell Ozuna. That drives in Jose Martinez. It's good to see Jose Martinez stays in the game. Looked to be out of breath as the medical team checked on him, but he stays in the game. And it's the top of the lineup now for the Pirates. Adam Frazier is 2 for 2. It's Frazier here, then Polanco and Marte. Doesn't get the call, 3-0. 76 pitches on the night for Jack Flaherty. Four pitches and a walk. A couple of those pitches very close and not going Flaherty's way. Third walk on the night. Go along with 4 Pirates hits. Gregory Polanco skied one to right field last time up. He hit it a mile high into right and just missed that pitch. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He's also struck out to go along with that fly ball. Cardinals have turned 3 double plays, and there's strike 1.
Good time for another double play ball right here. Get him through this inning. Maybe get him out there for another. You never know.
Dominic Leone begins to throw in the Cardinals bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike. See the players multiple times rubbing their eyes on a cold night. The pitchers blowing into their hand and then sometimes going to their mouth, wiping it off, trying to get any kind of feel or grip for the baseball. It's a tough night. The 1-1 pitch. Instead, a check on the runner at first. That's Frazier. No stolen bases yet this year. Here's a 1-1. The pitch in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cardinals bullpen, after Holland came in the 9th of a 5-2 game, it was 5-5, and then they got the final 3 outs with a runner at third and nobody out last night as we played into the 11th. Leone did appear last night, only threw 4 pitches. And right now the strike zone is shrinking on Jack Flaherty.
He's just missing.
You know, I say, well, he only threw 4 pitches, but there's so much more to that. But getting up, getting hot. He had been up twice in the game.
Yeah, there's a lot to do out there in the bullpen to get ready to come into the game. So you're right, 4 pitches is great during the game, but he's down there throwing at 100% halfway through his warm-up. So,
and he did it twice.
Yep, did it twice. So that might be 20 pitches.
The 3-1 pitch. Be careful. And he walks Polanco. Back-to-back walks. That brings in Starling Marte in the heart of this Pirate lineup. Back-to-back walks. Marte has hit into a double play and singled. A slow walk by Mike Matheny, and this may be it for Flaherty, and it is. I'm sure Jack Flaherty asking Yadier Molina, where were those pitches? So nice job by Jack Flaherty. Back-to-back walks, though, with a 1-run lead here in the 6th, and Dominic Leone coming on. The Pirates tied it up. It was 5-2, then 5-5 after this play. But then it was Leone and Lyons with a sharp break there. And Matt Bowman. Runner at third, nobody out. And the Cardinals got out of it. Our Chevy called to the pen, Dominic Leone. Last 7 appearances have been very good for him. 6 innings, only 4 hits allowed. Right-handers have gotten him, though, at a 350 clip. The lefties 238. And a fastball taken outside for ball 1. Starling Marte at the plate. Ground ball left side, backing up Carpenter out there. And Wong puts it in his back pocket. He may have had a chance to get Marte. Been very close. I think he may have struggled getting that out of the glove.
Yeah, I would think that might be the reason a little bit. I don't know why you don't throw this.
Seeing his reaction after the play may indicate that he thought he could have, but just couldn't get it out of the glove. There's Josh Bell, the switch hitter. Only 1 home run this year, and that's from this side of the plate. Runners at first and third. Inning started with back-to-back walks. Fouled back.
Tell you what, even though you can't break up a double play, it looked to me like Polanco got down there in a hurry. It might have surprised him. Because I still think that even with the rule change, I still got to believe that all the years you've been playing baseball, that breaking up the double play is still fresh in your mind. And if someone's coming in hard, it's probably a little bit hard to erase that out of your memory banks, thinking that he's not going to be able to knock you down.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. The fastball for Leone has been a really good pitch for him so far this year. We talk a lot about a slider, but the opponents against the fastball just 1 for 21.
Good short arm fastball. I saw 93 right there. Kind of running across the zone too.
You have to keep an eye on Marte, who has 8 stolen bases already this season in the first month. Hyundai pitch arsenal on the Cardinal right-hander. Fastball, good slider. Runners at the corners, only 1 out here in the home half of the 6th. Base hit into right center. The game is tied just past Wong. Bobbled again by Pham, and that allows Bell to go to second base and eliminates the potential of a double play. Will be an error on Tommy Pham after the single, his second in as many nights.
Josh Bell does a good job going down and getting this ball, hits it hard. Tommy Pham once again having a little bit of trouble with the ball. You could see over there at third base, Starling Marte gave up, but the third base coach right there was waving him home the whole way. I think if he's running hard the whole way, he scores easy.
No question.
Just did the Cardinals a big favor.
So Frazier scores on the base hit to center. And the bases will be loaded after the intentional walk to Corey Dickerson for Cervelli. 3 walks in the inning. The Pirates have received 5 total in the game. Cervelli, home run back in the second, and grounded out to short in inning number 5. Cardinals would love to turn their 4th double play right here. And it's ball 1. Two and 0 the count. Cervelli has faced Leone one time, struck out. That was last night. Fly ball lifted out to deep center. Pham with the catch. 2 runners tagging up. Matter of fact, it's 3. And with that, a 3-2 Pittsburgh lead.
Slider right there. Cervelli thought he got it. So cold. Pretty interesting to stand up here and watch the game from up here and watch all 3 guys tag up at the same time. Pretty aggressive move by the Pirates, but now you got second and third with 2 outs. Base hits, easy 2-run hit.
Here's Colin Moran and a pitch taken down. That'll close the book on Flaherty, 5+ as he pitched into the 6th. 3 runs, 4 hits, struck out 2, walked 4, gave up a home run. One ball and 1 strike. Runners at second and third, a 1-run Pittsburgh lead. Inside corner, 1-2.
This is the pitch right here, Danny. This pitch right here, get that first strike. That puts all the doubt in the hitter's mind. They can get to that pitch, or do they have to keep looking for it? That is one of the toughest pitches to hit in the game.
Here's a 1-2. Hit sharply to third. Carpenter on a hop. Low throw, and Martinez holds on. And the Pirates will not challenge the play. Martinez, that saves 2 runs with that pick at first base. Jim having a conversation with someone on his same level of intelligence.
You read my mind.
3-2 our score as we move to the 7th. And the pitcher will be Michael Feliz. So Chevy called to the pen. He's had 14 strikeouts in 10 innings. Scored upon only twice in 12 outings. And Feliz delivers to Paul DeYoung, strike one, and we're underway here in the 7th inning. Our Chevy called to the pen. The Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run this inning. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. The 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes, and DeYoung picks up a base hit. The tying run is on. Seems like it should be routine, but anything but. This was a key play moments ago in Jose Martinez. This throw by Carpenter.
See how he just sits back. He sees it right into the glove. Wow, what a play. The ball hops up on him weird. That's the key, though. He stayed back and tried to play that long hop. Don't really know if he saw it go into his glove, but did a good job with it.
Wong showing bunt. I think what made that really tough on Martinez is that it was near the lip of the grass, which is going to give you, who knows what kind of hop.
Yeah, you go about 6 inches, give you 2 different hops.
Right. Wong has walked and a sacrifice. A ball and a strike. Greg Garcia at the on-deck circle for the Cardinals. Pirates are down to 2 mound visits. So play here in the top of the 7th. That was number 4. The strike on Wong, 1-2. Good fastball at 96. Wong, a diving stop at third, and he is out. And the Cardinals will take time to evaluate whether or not he was out. Regardless, runner in scoring position for St. Louis. So Wong is out. Tremendous play here by Colin Moran. So close.
Colin Moran might want to throw that ball a little harder next time. Looked like he got up and just kind of flipped it over there. Nice play.
Greg Garcia. 5 of his last 6 hits have gone for extra bases. A career .274 pinch hitter. Room on the left side of the infield. And Jim has more on Greg Garcia. Jimmy.
Yeah, an anniversary of sorts for Greg. He made his major league debut April 28, 2014. He pinch hit for Pat Neshek against the Brewers and walked. He told me he remembers it like it was yesterday. He told me there have been a number of young guys up and down with the big club this year that, like him when he first came up, you were used to playing every day. Garcia told me if I can help them adjust, not getting everyday reps, then I'm doing my job. Dan, a good guy to have off the bench.
No question. And a guy that has been very good in this role. One of the toughest roles in sports, pinch hitting late in games. And the 0-2.
He's the perfect pinch hitter. Doesn't swing too hard. Left-handed, puts the ball in play. Can foul good, tough pitches off. Gives you a really good professional at bat. I mean, almost every time he goes out there.
The 1-2. Struck him out. Jack Flaherty saying, well, wait a minute, where was that when I was on the mound an inning ago?
He's just thinking the same thing.
Plaza Tire Service replay as Cervelli pulled it back in the strike zone. And now there's 2 away for Tommy Pham. Luke Gregerson is up in the Cardinals pen. Pham tonight is fly to left, a 2-out RBI double to right, also grounded out to third. Dickerson very deep in left field. 2 balls and 1 strike. Inside again, low. 3-1. Matt Carpenter at the on deck circle. Pham chops it towards short. Mercer puts it away. Cardinals strand a runner. Time to stretch in a 1-run game. And now tonight they trail by the score of 3-2. Those double plays behind Jack Flaherty. Our Chevy called to the pen. Luke Gregerson, his 5th appearance, signed a multi-year deal in the offseason as he left the world champion Houston Astros. And our Chevy called to the pen. Jordy Mercer, the shortstop of the Pirates, is 0 for 2. Twice he has flied out to left field. We're in the bottom of the 7th. It's another tight game between the Cardinals and Pirates. Hit down the left field line and a fair ball. A leadoff double for Jordy Mercer.
Good piece of hitting by Jordy Mercer, not trying to do too much. I think he thought, well, I know he thought he pulled this ball foul. It's kind of the key to hitting the inside pitch, not trying to do too much. As a player, when you get challenged in a lot, you tend to try to hit it too hard. Those guys that aren't home run hitters do so much damage on the inner half because they just put the ball in play, they take nice easy swings, they get the barrel to the ball.
So Sean Rodriguez. His dad has been a manager long time in the Cardinals minor league system. And Rodriguez, a very versatile player here with the Pittsburgh Pirates. An outstanding player, outfield, infield, pinch hitter. As Tyler Lyons is getting loose. You have a couple lefties coming up after Rodriguez with Frazier and Polanco. You know, Gregerson the other day against the Mets was hitting 89, topped out with his fastball the other day, and it looks like he's still trying to find, you know, the little momentum, and not a lot of spring training. Was hurt. Rodriguez, by the way, 2 for 2 against Gregerson with a couple of home runs. I asked Mike Matheny about that today. You look at, you know, the struggles of Holland. Lance Lynn did not have a spring training. He has been erratic with his control, and in his opinion, it will change maybe what free agents do. Sign and make sure you get into camp so that you're in shape and ready to roll. Just a different experience. You can do everything you want on your own, but it's just not the same.
Something about that. There's that extra 10%, maybe 15% you need to really compete at the big league level with your own body. So what I'm saying is, in spring training, you can get by, and I think you're working on stuff, and I don't really think you ever go 100%. And you can get away with it. Guys are trying to hit their spots, not get hurt, working on stuff, working on their off-speed pitches. And all of a sudden, you get out there in the middle of a big league game, and you have to dial it up a notch, or you mentally dial it up a notch. There's something to be said for having that experience, and you can get that pretty close in games in spring training, but I just don't feel it's the same as the regular season.
Here's a 3-0 pitch to Rodriguez. That's in the dirt, so a walk. And runners at first and second. With Frazier coming up, we may see Tyler Lyons here. So the double and a walk, and now Lyons with 2 runners on to face Adam Frazier when we come back. exciting moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. Well, you knew this would probably be the situation in which Clint Hurdle would pull Frazier and go to a right-handed bat to face Tyler Lyons, and it's the now, happy birthday, 35-year-old David Freese. Freese actually has opened up his stance considerably. Remember how closed off he used to be, and he said that's actually by design to try to get lift. We talked about with Jim Hayes. And the first pitch is strike. Chevy called to the pen. David Freese now with over 9 years of big league time. The final season of an $11 million deal. Lions had a strikeout yesterday. In talking with Mike Matheny, he felt that his slider was sharper, which at times has been an issue. But he also mentioned about locating a fastball in. He said he's got to do that, and if he does that, great success will follow.
Especially against lefties. That's tough for a lot of lefties to be able to get the ball into left-handed hitters, especially when you throw across your body like this.
One ball and two strikes. Freese in spring training was fairly critical of the Pirates after the trade, especially of Garrett Cole, and that followed McCutchen, and he said out loud, I wonder if we're trying to win to be a championship club. The 1-2 pitch to David. And the breaking ball is popped up. Out of play. Andrew McCutchen, the 11th overall pick in '05, and really the face of this franchise for better than a decade. Garrett Cole was first overall in 2011, and then we saw him pitch in the deciding game of the division series against the Cardinals in 2012, and those two are gone. The 2-2, and it scoots through Molina, and runners advance to second and third. It'll be a pass ball charged to Yadier Molina. And a 3-2 pitch with the infield in. Freese going the other way, plenty deep. Catch made by Fowler. Throw goes into third. It's cut off, and it makes it a 4-2 Pittsburgh lead. Well, with 3 and 2, and yet first base open, the Cardinals elected to pitch to Freese, and he just takes it the other way, picks up the RBI.
I think him trying to figure out if they were going to pitch to him or not got him just to take a 2-strike approach, trying to put this ball in play, because that ball was up there for him to hit. He did what a good hitter does, take what they give you and drive in the run.
Here's Gregory Polanco with 1 out and a runner at third. Infield still in. I think from the Cardinals' perspective, there's got to be a little concern with Luke Gregerson. Hasn't been sharp here early on. Clearly, Holland has had an issue or two along the way. And right now, the Cardinals will have to come back. At the knees.
That's the pitch you were talking about earlier. The Tyler Lyons trying to get a strike on the left-handed hitter on the inside part of the plate, trying to buy the outside part of the plate, open it up a little bit, keep them off that slider.
And Polanco tried to go in, and he's hit by the pitch.
This is why it's so important to get it done, and this is why it's so hard to do. Missed by a little bit. You got a guy on first base.
So runners at first and third. Mike Matheny out again. With Starling Marte coming up. And Mike Myers, the right-hander, has been throwing in the Cardinals' pen, and Myers will come on when we come back. Just recalled from AAA. And that's May 5th when the Cubs are in town. That'll be a week from today. Cardinals.com/promotions. So now it's Myers. And you got to figure it's Myers from here on out, or at least for a while. You got Holland maybe off limits. Norris maybe off limits. Hicks pitched last night. And it's our Chevy Cole to the pen. And he comes in with the Pirates leading by 2 and 2 runners on. He's had 5 innings and a 1.80 ERA. Also has mixed in a save along the way. First pitch, a fastball and a strike. Tremendous spring put together by Myers. His last appearance was back on the 12th of this month against Cincinnati. Went 3 innings, and with those 3 innings picked up a save. Little tapper back out in front of the mound, and everybody's safe. Rodriguez thought about coming home and then retreated back to the bag at third. Not much you can do about that. Bases are loaded.
I'll take that right there any day, especially a young pitcher. Sean Rodriguez broke down the line. This is a really tough play for any pitcher. You're taught, not only do you see him coming, you're taught to look at him to see if he's coming. there's just no more time to go to first base.
It's also good base running by Rodriguez.
Nothing hurt. Still got the force play. Now you got a double play still.
Josh Bell, RBI single to center back in the 6th. He's bounced into a double play and also walked. And a fastball at 95 for a strike. Myers went back down to the minor leagues and made 5 appearances out of the bullpen, no runs allowed. Former starter, and the Cardinals feel that this is his best path to the big leagues to stay, and that's to be in the bullpen. And time called. Bell has faced Myers 1 time, and he's 1 for 1 with an RBI double. He does own 1 grand slam. He's 5 for 15 with the bases loaded in his young career. 0-2 the count. Very good pitch moments ago.
See why he's had success in spring training and down in AAA. He's got good stuff. Throwing hard, moving the ball around.
The 0-2. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Bell. Just a bit low. The 2-2. And with the bases loaded, the count runs full. Big pitch in the ball game right here. 3-2 with the bases loaded. Got him. Molina holds on and the strikeout.
It's a good pitch right here. This is down and in, and it just runs in off the plate. Pitch before set that up. It's tough to take that pitch with the bases loaded, even though it's in off the plate.
So 2 outs and the bases loaded. The batter is Corey Dickerson. Cardinals pitched around him back in the 6th inning. And that pitch in the dirt. Dickerson in his career has struggled in this spot, just 4 for 36 with the bases loaded. Myers trying to keep this a 2-run Pittsburgh lead. And the 1-0. Hit out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals will have the middle of the order coming up. And Myers send us there with a 2-run Pittsburgh lead. The 1-1. Sawed him off. Little flare. Tough play. Carpenter safe. That's 2 infield hits in the inning against Mike Myers. Talk about some bad luck. That's it. We talk about all these home runs and miles per hour and how hard they're hit. This one went 29 miles per hour.
And almost maybe 29 feet. Wow. I knew that was trouble right away. Did you see how fast he got from first to second on the tag up the inning before? This can fly.
And Cervelli didn't like the call for strike 1. Bases remain loaded. 5-2 the score. Cervelli with 3 grand slams in his career lifts a high fly ball down the right field line. And Fowler goes flip right over the gate and the fencing area down the right field line. And let's hope he's all right. He hops right back up. He says he's fine.
Pretty good effort by Dexter right here, but we talked about this the other day. This is the toughest thing about being a corner outfielder. There is no room down there. Take a look at him falling over that fence. I can happily say that I've never ever had that experience before. It does not look fun.
So Fowler says he's okay. He'll stay in the ball game. And he's all right. So the bases are loaded. 0-2 the count on Francisco Cervelli. 5-2 the score. Cardinals have been out hit in this game. 8-5. The 0-2. There's Dexter, much easier play here. And he makes the catch. The heart of the lineup coming up for St. Louis: Carpenter, Martinez, and Ozuna. Chicago defeated Milwaukee. Dodgers over the Giants in that great rivalry out west. Final in 10. Arizona over Washington 4-3. The Phillies drop 1 to Atlanta. And the other games in progress later tonight. LA and San Francisco, game 2 of their doubleheader. George Contos, the setup man for the Pittsburgh Pirates, is in, the former Giant. And this is our Chevy call to the pen with the Cardinals trailing by the score of 5-2. So Matt Carpenter will lead it off. Sean Rodriguez stays in the game. He's at second base. And the first pitch to Carpenter showing bunt. Down by 3, 5-2, and he pushed it foul.
I like the effort right there. It's like he wants to bunt it, but then he doesn't want to bunt it at the same time. He wants to make it so perfect. It's just hard to get that out of your mind. Trying to bunt that ball when you know you need to swing and get some extra base hits.
The pitch taken low.
It's like you want to try to bunt that ball so perfect so you don't make an out, so people don't second guess you.
And Carpenter lines it into the shift, and Rodriguez is there. The struggles continue for Carpenter. He's 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. And the batter is Jose Martinez. Lost in the last 4 games with the pitching changes and blown save in game last night. The fact is the Cardinals just have not been hitting all that much. Last 4 games, if you include tonight, it's under a .215 average. 7 hits on Wednesday, 11 hits in 13 innings in the win against the Mets. Cardinals had a total of 7 hits last night and a total of 5 tonight. 0-2 the count on Jose Martinez. Martinez doubled down the right field line back in the 6th, then was brought in by Ozuna, who singled to left. Trying to keep those hands warm. Two and two. This might be a night where you do not see Felipe Vasquez, the closer, hard throwing lefty. He's pitched a bunch the last couple of games. They can stay away from him. I'm sure they would. And a ground ball that's hit to third. Moran makes the play. Well, at the time, this was a very big plate appearance by Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah, definitely. It was a big at bat. They were pitching him in, and we're talking about he was just figuring it out. Got himself some pretty good energy out of this at bat, 9 pitches, and then can see both sides of the plate. Finally got him something to hit. I'm telling you, he's heating up. Got a little more energy, a little more pep in his step.
And a breaking pitch and a strike. It was a single to left, and the RBI number 17 on the year for Ozuna. Also lined out, flied out. And pops out into shallow left. Jordy Mercer dropped it. And Ozuna's at first base. It's a big league pop-up, and Mercer did not make the catch. It's an error, his first of the year, and Ozuna still standing at first base. And you got to wonder if he should be at second.
Yeah, he took it for granted this ball is going to get caught, and I think Jordy Mercer was kind of hoping left fielder was going to call him off here, but this side, going back and looking at it now, this is a shortstop ball. He's got to catch that ball. Can't take for granted that the left fielder is going to call you off.
And a ground ball softly hit to third, and the inning is through. Cardinals strand a runner. We're midway through 8, and the Pirates on top. This will be the second inning of work for Mike Myers. I will say this, and it's not an excuse. You still got to get people out. But I thought when Flaherty had the back-to-back walks after the Cardinals had taken the lead, that was in the 6th. I thought he was squeezed in the first 2. Again, it's not an excuse, but it's certainly something to think about as he reviews his game here tonight.
I mean, I think the pitching staff has taken the brunt of a beating, but they've really done their job pretty well. I mean, even last night we talked about it with the guys coming in and got a ground ball double play. We had an error in center field. Tough strike zone here and there. It's so hard to ask for everything for this pitching staff to do. We don't have everything behind you.
But it's the big leagues, and you got to do it.
Big leagues.
She looks like she's having a heck of a time. Wind chill is in the 30s, if not below.
It is a good thing it's not windy.
Oh boy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, for the most part, it's been still here at PNC Park. Just brisk, a chill in the air.
That girl right there is shaking. Down, 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 go back with the white thing on her head.
The fly ball to Ozuna, and the catch is made.
Why did he say get back here? There are some unhappy people in both dugouts tonight.
My only assumption is that time was called, I guess, but they kept playing and I never saw that it was called. It's the crew chief, Jerry Meals, that was called back in to help with the discussion, and they do bring back Moran, and he's got a life. It was a quick pitch, and he called it right away. So what the ruling is that it's a dead ball and then ruled a ball with the pitch, and that's why it goes to a count of 2-2. And as Myers now really comes set to accentuate the point, and it's 3-2. Wow, I haven't seen that.
I added a ball to the count. Quick pitch.
It was a quick pitch.
3-2. That's what I told you, Mike.
That's the ruling, and which I just explained, which is the quick pitch. It's up to the discretion of the umpire, but then you add a ball to the count, which he did, made it 2-2. Next pitch, a ball, 3-2. That's it out of play. I think frustrations are about ready to boil over for Mike Matheny. This has been a tough couple of nights. The 3-2 pitch. And he walked him. You talk about a tough night for Mike Myers. He made two really good pitches that wound up being infield hits. One brought in a run, and then something I haven't seen maybe ever. He calls a quick pitch with nobody on.
You got a point there.
What resulted in a fly ball out. Here's Jordy Mercer. And a strike. One and one. Cardinals looking for their fourth double play of the night. Out to center. Mercer flies to Tommy Pham for the out. And there's one away. There's Sean Rodriguez.
Myers is doing a good job keeping his composure during this whole thing, too. I think that's tough for a young player. It looked like he tried to reach back and throw a couple extra mad balls in there and then settled back down and threw that pitch for a strike. And that's the things you got to do up here. You really got to keep your composure just keep throwing strikes. Let the manager and everyone else worry about all the craziness.
Have you seen that before?
No. I was going to ask you, without sounding completely ridiculous, that was a new rule, because I seem to remember that's been going on for about 5 or 6 years. Guys have been doing that with runners on base.
Happens all the time.
So it kind of got me lost right there.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Sean Rodriguez.
Just wondering maybe if he didn't catch the umpire so off guard that didn't really know what to do.
The 1-1 pitch.
I was kind of taken back by him telling the hitter to get back here.
He screamed at him, "Get back here."
I was wondering who he was yelling at. I'm coming back. If you're telling me I got another chance to hit, you don't have to yell at me. I'm coming back. Don't worry about that.
And Rodriguez pops it up into foul territory. And that'll be Carpenter who makes the catch. And with that, there's 2 down. Max Moroff will be the pinch hitter, switch hitter for the Pirates. So runner at first, and now 2 outs. And ball 1. You know, I think of Pedro Strop, a guy that quick pitches all the time for the Chicago Cubs. Don't see it called. It happens in the game every night. Again, it was a 2-2, or rather a 2-1 count. Colin Moran at the plate. And what made that different was that he didn't come set to the glove, which he'll do here. But the rule is umpire discretion, and then you're given a ball, so you charge it against the pitcher, and that is the rule, but you just don't see it called very often.
I guess that would be like a balk, right? And there's nobody on, so you give him a ball. But like you said, that's been part of the game. Deceiving the hitter. Guys have been doing it for years.
Now, when a pitcher disengages the rubber, he must drop his hands to his side. Pitchers will not be allowed to disengage the rubber after taking each sign. May not take a second step towards home plate, which he did not do. Now, if there was a runner on, that would have been a balk. But with nobody on, it's called a quick pitch, up to the discretion of the umpire, but the batter was in the box and ready to go. I don't like that call one bit. That's hit down the right field line. Foul.
He's wasting those. Didn't he hit one of those last night?
Yep. Just missed it down the right field line.
Keep those balls fair. Wasted some pretty good swings.
But that is a judgment call, and that was what Gabe Morales did. 3-2 pitch and a base hit into left field. Now, if I'm Mike Myers, Yeah, I'm saying to myself and to Gabe Morales, you know what? I'm fighting for my life to stay up here.
Exactly.
And you're going to call that? Extends the inning to Polanco. So runners at first and second. Polanco tonight has walked, was hit by a pitch, struck out and flied out to deep right. 2 outs and 2 on. But my understanding, it's all up to the umpire and his discretion on that particular call. I've seen it called with a runner on, but nobody has called that with nobody on. And our guys in the truck come up with it. Rule 5.07A. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Polanco. He hits it down the right field line, but yanks it foul. And another souvenir for the folks just above the Clemente wall down the right field line. One ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals will have Fowler, DeYoung, and Wong coming up. Trailing 5-2. That's where Molina wanted that pitch.
Good pitch right there. It's tough to lay off.
Cardinals will try to turn the tables on the Pirates, who were trailing 5-2 last night going into the 9th.
Guys that don't bite on that pitch, and the guys with extremely quick hands.
And a grounder that's off the glove of Martinez and into shallow right. And a run will score. An error on Martinez.
Been a tough couple days for Jose Martinez, but he almost doesn't have to go get this ball. Holding long, standing right there. It's made it a little bit tougher on himself. But you're going to have these periods where you're playing defense and nothing goes right.
And a fly ball that's lifted to Pham. Pirates add to their lead to make it a 6-2 Pittsburgh lead. right, guys, looking forward to the postgame. Edgar Santana, pitcher for Pittsburgh, our Chevy called to the pen. And the Cardinals have Fowler, DeYoung, and Wong. And trailing by the score of 6-2 here in game number 2. Reminder, the pregame show tomorrow at noon. The first pitch is fouled back. Is Fowler still in this game as he went head over heels trying to make a catch down the right field line and going over the fence. Cold night here in Pittsburgh. Feels like 36 now with the wind chill. 0-2. Be an off day tomorrow, or rather on Monday after the game tomorrow. Might be time to give Fowler a little break after what took place tonight. Maybe see Harrison Bader. Molina has been catching a ton of innings. He was supposed to have the day off on Thursday. That turned into an extra inning game. I think the Cardinals, you know, especially early on, you've got to be cautious with the amount of innings Molina wants to play. And you know he wants to play every day, and you know he wants to play every inning, but I would think if you're Mike Matheny, you got to take that decision out of his hands.
That's tough. You know he wants to play. I'm sure he'll take a couple innings off here and there, but he's going to want to play every day. See that pitch right there to Fowler. That's the pitch that we keep talking about. Fastball inside for a strike.
Now, just to follow up on the quick pitch, if an umpire in his judgment believes the pitcher delivers the ball a deliberate effort to catch the batter off guard, there you have the quick pitch, and then the penalty is a ball. So it's what we've been explaining, but again, the batter's in the box and he's clearly set to hit. Wasn't like he was just digging in. And we'll find out more in the post game.
Leave that one up to Brad to explain for a while.
Cardinals down to their final out, and here's Colton Wong. And the Pirates a strike away from taking the first 2 in this series. Major League debut Nick Kingham tomorrow. Luke Weaver will go for the Cardinals. Noon with the pregame show. The 0-2. Pirates take game 2 by the final of 6-2. Another frustrating night for the Cardinals offense. Pittsburgh will look for a sweep tomorrow behind a Major League debut. They came back last night. Tonight they win it 6-2. Missouri Lottery, Cardinals Live, the postgame show will come your way next.